All right. Good morning, everyone. Today is November 13th. Hopefully, I got that right. Episode number 20. So now we're starting to get up there in the digits. So that's good. Back at it again with one of these Before the Sunrise podcasts. So that's good stuff. Getting up early and grinding, as you know, as we have to do as college students and all around people that are trying to be successful. So, quick disclaimer. This is just a conversation between me and Mike. None of this is supposed to be taken with any seriousness, specifically the financial part. Take this as entertainment purposes. Whatever you do from whatever we say, that's up to you. And yep, let's jump right into it.
Hey, good morning, everybody. For today's topics, today's Friday. Yay, does it feel like Friday? Like, yeah,
What's that about?
Friday or what?
Friday. I saw you put that as one of the intros.
It's just like yay, like it's Friday.
Oh, Friday?
Yeah, Friday.
Nah, man,
Yay,
that's corny as hell, bro.
bro. All right, boom. So, on personal development, we're going to be talking about being persistent no matter what. Fitness, the overlooked skills of flexibility and balance, and how to incorporate it into your training. I don't know. I thought about something when I read that. But finance, how long does it take to make a profit in the stock market? And some news updates, of course. Okay, let's jump right into it. Being persistent, no matter what. What can you tell me about that?
So, to me, is a good way to put it. When I say something or when I think of a phrase like that, basically what I'm trying to get at is a lot of circumstances in life are going to require that you put in work, and regardless of the consequences or regardless of however the situation ends up panning out, you still have to put in more work. It's never ending.
Mm-hmm.
There's never a time that you should feel like you're satisfied with whatever it is that you've done. But there's more go towards failure. So oftentimes you're going to fail and it's not going to go your way, right? In those moments, you come to a crossroads. You either decide to give up or you keep going.
Mm-hmm.
In those moments, if you decide to give up, there's nothing wrong with that. But understand that nothing in this life will ever come to you on the first try or the second try, the third try. It could take however long it's going to take. Your responsibility is just to keep being persistent and doing it again and again until you learn the lessons that you have to learn and you're
Mm-hmm.
finally successful at doing whatever it is that you were doing. So I'm gonna throw it over to you. What does that sound like to you?
Being
How does that sound?
persistent is pretty much going for what you want. If you really want something, if you want to accomplish something, then you are going to be persistent in order to achieve that, right? But if by all means, not everything is reachable at the time. Maybe it's not the right time for you, but if you're persistent enough, with time you will eventually get it, depending on what it is, of course. But working hard, there's other variables that's gonna play around it as well. So it's not only persistence, but it's a mix of working hard, also determination, and being clear to the goals that you're going and what you're working towards to. But yeah, being persistent is very important, because without it, you are going to give up the first time that you fail, the first time that you kind of face a challenge, which it's not good. It's just not a good look for you.
We're all gonna face challenges, right? And like
Absolutely.
it's up to you to decide that listen, regardless of what comes my way, I know that this is gonna take however long it's gonna take. Every
Correct.
time that you get beat down, you get back up.
Absolutely. Well, I have a question for you regarding
Mm-hmm.
that topic. So you see how we mentioned that you go for what you want and blah blah blah. Can you apply this for girls? If I'm
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna mention, right? So there's always a balance here that you have to strike.
right.
Because at some point, if you like apply this mentality, let's say it's specifically to one girl, then that can become obsession, and then that can become like stalkerish behavior, or you're just being a creep. But in general, if you try to approach this with like all women, what's the goal? Are you just trying to sleep with women? Are you trying to get a relationship out of a woman? At some point, you'll likely be successful.
Yeah,
To the degree that you want, it's all depending.
I feel like the girls that you chase is definitely just to sleep with them. But once again, that's my mentality. But the girls
Hmm.
that chase you and are present in your life most of the time, those are the type of girls that you want to consider for a relationship. But
For sure.
yeah, like Randy mentioned, like being persistent applies for something that you want, that's something that you really want. And when it comes to women, that's a little bit tricky. That
Yeah.
uh, yeah, you don't want to really be persistent because um, you're just gonna push her away. You're literally just chasing her if you put in all the work in order to get her, and yeah, it's not a good look for you. So yeah,
No.
definitely has a limit of the things that um, you can persist on, and you are going to be the best character to judge what things are worth being persistent about and what are not. So yeah.
Hmm. There's something that you mentioned earlier.
Mhm.
Like you'll always get what you want if you're persistent, right?
Right.
Or something to that vein. So a quote that I heard and I've kind of like realized it to be pretty much true is that you can have everything that you want in this life, but not all at the same time.
Exactly.
So over time, you're going to see that, you're going to be achieving the goals that you achieve if you keep being persistent, if you're smart and you learn from your mistakes. But all these things don't have to happen simultaneously. They're going to take however long they're going to take.
Hmm.
So you got to be patient. And that's something else we can talk about.
Oh, absolutely.
Patience.
Yeah, patience is very, very important. Um, Also, like what's worth in your life, what's worth keeping on your life doesn't come really fast or doesn't come, like this, like so
Hmm.
fast or so quick. You gotta be persistent. You gotta work towards it because when it comes, it's there to stay. All right.
Yep. And
Uh,
when it comes, you're not even going to like, it's not going to be like, oh my God, it just like finally it's happened. It'll literally be like almost overnight kind of thing, just because you've been so persistent with it. It kind of just one day it clicks together. But you don't know when that day is going to be. So it's just your responsibility to put in the work every day.
Definitely. And also, I feel
Mhm.
like once you accomplish the goal, or once you get to where you want it to be, or whatever are persistent about, then you feel a self accomplishment.
Mhm.
This is for things that you really like want and bring value to your life. Now, this is something going back to the topic that we were talking about when you start persisting woman. This, from my personal experience, like this happened to me. You be persistent about a girl and you get her, trust me, you get bored of her because you already got her. And once you got her, you have put her in the pedestal. And once you see that she's not the great thing, your expectations are down and boom. Or we can
Mhm.
talk about expectations too. But yeah, so be careful with that. That's why I said like being persistent about woman is a little bit more different than being persistent about things that bring value to your life and things that you want as a man in is gonna fulfill something.
Mhm.
But yeah,
What about covers or no?
that covers it. Cool.
Mhm.
All right, let's go to fitness. Fitness, fitness, fitness. All right. The overlooked skill of flexibility and balance.
All right.
How to
So
incorporate them in your training.
you like doing yoga, right?
Yeah.
Um, why is that?
Well, I spend a lot of time sitting down, so
Mhm.
I need to stretch my muscles and my bones. And
All right.
also, I do some like I use it as sort of meditation as well.
Mhm.
It's very relaxing.
So there you go. So you can use yoga as like, as a stretching routine and simultaneously as a meditation practice, right?
Hmm.
So that's why a lot of people like doing yoga. But as we've been talking about with fitness, a lot of it is to create longevity in your life and help you, live a more a more comfortable, a more fulfilling life. And one of the things that incorporates is your flexibility and your balance. Because again, these are skills. People don't really talk about it like that, but these are skills. You can train your flexibility and your balance. If you've seen anybody that's super flexible, a majority of people aren't born that way. It takes practice and time to get to the point where you can do a full split.
Imagine the baby stretching as he's born.
Right? That's a problem. That means there's something wrong.
No,
Well,
actually,
no, not necessarily, because babies don't have a little bit more elasticity.
yeah, I was gonna
They're
say,
more flexible,
yeah, I was gonna mention the babies, like they can reach their toes. That
right?
they'll be doing some weird stuff, but yeah, they're
So
more flexible than
in
us.
theory, that's not really an issue when you're a baby. Now, if that persists as you keep getting older, unless the parents of the children or the child like force them to do flexibility stuff, usually your bones will start, solidifying a little bit more. You won't have that much range of motion or as much as if you were a baby.
Mhm.
Regardless, you can still achieve that because again, it's a skill. So the whole point of it is that if you don't practice it, you're going to get worse at it. You get older, you're going to get more and more stiff. As Michael just mentioned, you're 22 years old, right? And you're doing yoga because you sit down all day. Now imagine people that have been doing that for 20, 30, 40 years.
Mhm.
Like their whole career has been them sitting in a chair. Imagine what kind of flexibility and mobility these people have. Barely anything.
Barely walk.
Pretty much. Go up a flight of stairs and they're almost dying. And as college students, that's instilled in you. You're pretty much programmed to do that. You sit in class, you don't move. So that's why you got to make sure that you start incorporating these skills or like these some routines in terms of stretching and flexibility in your everyday life if you can. So like you have that yoga practice, right? Good. But you don't have to make it an actual daily practice. You can just incorporate it to the end of your workout routines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
2 to 5 minutes. If you can manage that every other day, stretch out those muscle groups that you're usually completely deactivating when you're sitting down. So usually I'm looking at your hamstrings, your hip flexors, lower back,
The word back is very important.
shoulders. Shoulders has a tendency, you start rounding your shoulders when you're sitting all day, right? You start hunching over.
Yeah, that's really bad.
So mostly the joints, they have a lot of mobility. Your shoulders, your hips, your ankles. These are the kind of things that this is where you want to get the flexibility and mobility in. Your spine shouldn't really be that mobile. So, don't be thinking that you have to be able to do gymnastics or be an acrobat in order to
Yeah,
just achieve the things that I'm trying to tell you to do.
facts. There's simple. There's very, 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 very basic stretches that you can start doing it today. You don't need to be like crazy, crazy stretchy, but with time, you slowly, 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 you see the progress. Like you become more flexible. You literally become more light. Like
Mm-hmm.
you walk, when you're jumping, when you're doing any sort of exercise, you literally feel a little bit lighter because your muscles are not so tied up, and you actually feel better, like more
Mm-hmm.
happy and energized than
Because that's trauma, or not trauma, but that's a lot of tension and stress your body's holding on to.
Mm-hmm.
All that the tightness and stiffness in the muscles. So if
Right.
you can relax that, of course it's going to relax your mood. Think about it. It's just stress balled up in your body. If you can relax that, then
And
that
also
stress is going to be gone.
it's also a combination of breathing. So like
That's too.
you do it with the correct breathing, man, you release all the stress. Like the things that
Mm-hmm.
stress you out, they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
They're gone. Like if you know me, you know that I'm not a stressed person. Like I can have 5 homeworks due tomorrow, and I won't be stressed because I will get it done. And also,
Mm-hmm.
there's no need to stress about it. You're adding a stress to your stress, which is funny.
Yeah,
Um,
you're just stressing out about the fact that you have stress.
yeah. So you just gotta chill.
Mm-hmm.
Just gotta chill. Take the chill pill, my guy. Anyways, all right. Yeah, I think that covers it. Now, I think one thing that you can do to start, doing your balance is try to stand. on one feet for 30 seconds. If you cannot achieve that, then your balance is way off. So,
Yeah, for sure.
you need to practice that as well. So
Hmm.
just go on YouTube. There's tons of exercises that you can see. But for balance, I think it's very, very critical for when you start working out. Because if
Hmm.
you don't have balance, your workout is going to be trash, especially when you start lifting weights, free weights specifically. If you don't have the balance, um, it's going to be really hard for you. You can end up injuring yourself. So,
So imagine trying to do lunges, right?
yeah.
You need balance for that.
Hmm.
And if you don't have good balance, you're just going to fall over.
Or
That's
squat.
a really exercise because one, it's on a single leg.
Hmm.
So you're only working on one leg at a time. So you get to see if both legs are of the same strength. And
Right.
second, you're working the balance. And again, one thing that I like to do with balance is kind of push people to learn new skills actually. So things like riding a bike require balance, right?
Hmm.
Um, skateboarding, different sports that require like those type of pieces of equipment, right?
Right.
Rollerblades, anything that you can think of that requires balance, or and is a outdoor activity or extracurricular activity or whatever. That's something that I would push you to do because again, it's a skill, and I mean you're learning two things at the same time. You're working better on your balance, and you're learning a new thing that you can do. So if you can find these things that you can like you would like to learn or something that you used to do and try to reincorporate it again, definitely would suggest that because
Okay.
that is almost the best way to force your body to balance.
Very good. Very well said.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. There's many exercises, fun exercises that require you to do balance. And
Mhm.
once you find physical balance, try to find inner balance as well. Oh, mic
And
drop.
do that yoga. Yoga definitely incorporates a lot of balance and meditation.
Facts. Yeah, meditation is really fun actually to clear your head.
Hmm.
Cool. All right, let's jump into the finance so it doesn't become really long. How long how long does it take to make profit on the stock market? How long? How long do you
All
think?
right. So the general timelines for day trading is roughly 2 years. Within
Mm-hmm.
that 2 year mark, that's when you're going to actually start seeing good success, marginal success. Every week, not every day, but every week, you're going to see progress. Every month, you're going to see progress.
Mm-hmm.
But usually it doesn't happen before that point. Before that point, you're kind of just trying to figure your stuff out. You're going to make wins, and then you're going to lose it all. You're going to win again, lose it again. Because within that time frame, you're kind of just learning the series of best practices and trying to incorporate that as you get better.
Very good.
But what about for investing? How long do you think it takes?
Oh yeah, that definitely takes a little bit more time than that. Um, it depends actually. It depends. For me, when I first started, I kind of did both, like long-term investing and also day trading. So it's hard for me to tell like a specific number, but I actually never been on red on my long-term portfolio. Not to the point that I lost my capital. I've been on red, of
Mm-hmm.
course, but usually I'm losing my profits, so like my
Right.
gains. But I've been on it for 4 years now. Well, let me see, 22, yeah, since I was 18, and I seen good profit. I think I knew how to manage. I knew when to sell and when to buy more, and I
Mm-hmm.
knew the companies that I needed to invest on in order to play the game right. So when it comes to profits, it depends on how you go about it. I think I cannot tell you like a specific number, specific years or a specific time frame because it depends on the person that is investing and also depends on how much of the money you're investing on it. Because if
Mm-hmm.
you invest in $100, you can see a profit of like 2 5 cents, and that is profit. That's actually you're making money. Nobody's gonna give you free 5 cents anywhere. So
Mm-hmm.
so that is actually making profit. But when it comes, if you like expecting profit for like double your money, I have doubled my money on the stock market to the point that I took out my capital because things. um, but like most of my investments in my long-term investor are completely my gain.
Mhm.
And it only took me 4 years to pretty much double the capital and increase that. But you know, you don't have to do that. I probably would have more gain if I left my capital there. But because I need for college or stuff like that, and also like I took out some money to send somewhere else,
Mhm.
to allocate it somewhere else, then for me it just makes sense to do that at that time. But it
Right.
depends on how you manage your portfolio, and also um, how do you trade. Definitely involves how you
So
trade.
remember, we talked about it before. A lot of it is going to come down to patience. If
Yeah.
you can't manage those emotions,
Mm-hmm.
especially for like you're saying, for that longer term portfolio, let's say there's a Alibaba, perfect example. There's a problem going on right now in China with Alibaba, right?
Right.
So it's dipped. I'm pretty sure it went from highs of like 311, right now it's sitting around 260.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an emotional investor, what you're going to do is probably sell that,
Oh yeah.
because without looking at any external sources or any news or anything, all you're seeing is red. It's just dropping. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're smart and you look into it, you'd be like Michael, right? You would look at what's going on in China or what's going on with Alibaba, the company itself. You talked about it the other day that they had a positive, they 10x what Amazon did on the Amazon Prime Day with their Singles Day, right?
Right.
So
Man,
if you look at that, just that data itself, then you definitely know that Alibaba is a strong company that can outperform Amazon.
oh yeah, for sure.
So on
Alibaba is
scale,
huge, guys.
it would be smart to definitely not sell that company, even if it's going down right now. If anything, it would make sense to buy more
Correct.
and just wait, and then eventually take out whatever profit that you would need from it. Or if not, just let it keep going, because obviously it seems to be one of those companies that will probably compete with Amazon when, no, not even will. It's already competing with Amazon, and
Mm-hmm.
it might overtake Amazon just because it reaches a bigger audience in China,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. And you also have to hear the news about Amazon. Amazon lost the battle in India for e-commerce. So
There you go.
there's a
So
huge market in India. So you gotta yeah, when you're investing, you need to be aware of all this, what's happening on the companies that you're investing on.
so once you know that information, you know to either double down or sell everything.
Yeah.
Because hypothetically, let's say that Alibaba is actually just going bankrupt. All right, so now I could just maybe pull out my money because I don't see any value in it, and there's nothing good or positive coming out for the company.
Right.
But again, it's
Let me let me go into Alibaba. The reason that why it's red is because that Ant Group, the Jack Jack Ma was trying to IPO, and it was supposed to
right.
be the biggest IPO
Hmm.
of history. Is
Yep.
that yeah? It's well, there was this company. I mean, there is this company called Ant Group. Pretty much what they are is kind of like a hedge fund, similar to a hedge fund here. But what happened is that the IPO was estimated to be one of the largest in history. Not in the no, like in the New York Exchange. It wasn't gonna be published in the New York Stock Exchange, but it was going to be in Japan and China. Now, what ended up happening is that that IPO went to trash. All right, boom. So Alibaba holds shares, like is one of the major players on the Ant Group. I think it's like a 40% stake or 30% stake, but it's huge. So what ended up happening after that fell down, it dragged Alibaba with it. So that's why the reason investors are iffy about Alibaba at the moment. Not investors, traders, pretty much. But because investors are always going to hold it because they know the value of Alibaba. Alibaba in China controls that e-commerce. It's has payment systems and like even dating sites. Like it's crazy. It's huge. In China is like in fucking enormous market. So
And it's only growing.
mm-hmm. It's
But yeah,
only
that's it. Like you look into the news, you would see that, hey, everything you just said doesn't directly apply to Alibaba. There's nothing wrong with the company. It's just some external thing that happened.
correct.
So all in all the fundamentals are still at play. So most likely it'll either bounce back to where it was before, or if not, make higher highs as it continues to grow.
Absolutely. It has a lot of
Mm-hmm.
potential. But let's not just get stuck on that one. Do you have any other news updates for me?
So I already showed you all the stuff with the Chinese electric vehicle market.
Yeah.
Everything just started booming, right?
Indeed.
Neo finally hit over $50
Yeah, I
in the
saw.
pre-market today. So I
I
took
think
some profit off of that for sure.
you sold it, right? You sold it, or you
Yeah, I sold it.
copy? Okay,
You,
cheap
I'm expecting a drop in the morning,
on
probably
them.
under 50 again, and then I'll buy back in.
I see. Hold on. I also took a
This,
position on Neo, but
Mhm.
for me, it's gonna be a long run for it.
You're holding it long term?
Yeah, remember I mentioned that probably not, but I'm just gonna hold it long term. It has potential because I'm
Yeah,
checking
it's a
now.
big one.
The Chinese EVs charged higher yesterday.
Hmm.
XP EV
Hmm.
saw 33%, so it was the biggest jump.
No,
Then
it went up 40.
I went up to, okay, so definitely went up to 40 after markets, I guess. Neo surged 12% and is slowly going down, and LI leaped 27%. So as you can see, all of them went up very high. Now let's talk about Bitcoin. It's breaking above 16,000.
Hmm.
16,000 Bitcoin. Interesting. Now I took my money out of Bitcoin like a few months ago because I needed to pay for something. I'm regretting it at this time because I held
Hmm.
80% of a Bitcoin, which I could have made tons of money right now. And that's what I'm talking
Hmm.
about being long investors. Sometimes, you want to hold it. I held it since 2017 or since 2018. Even when it went to the boom, like really high, I didn't sell it. I just kept what I had. And now that it's breaking above 16,000, I could have doubled the money that I sold it at that time back in last year. I think it was
Hmm.
I think it was last year when I sold it, or like early this year, which is insane. Which is insane. Bitcoin is always a surprise to me. I always thought it was a little bit risky um, to rely on it, especially with the government trying to centralize it. A lot of governments
Hmm.
are trying to centralize Bitcoin, and that's not good looks. So
Right.
yeah, interesting. Now,
So they usually say to like hold at least like 1 or 2% of your overall portfolio in Bitcoin. So
mhm.
there goes something. So you sold all of it, right?
Yeah, no, because I used the app Coinbase, so
Oh,
they take every trade that you make, they charge you a fee.
right.
So what I was planning to do is to put money on the Robinhood account, but I was waiting for a good dip, and it never dipped.
Yeah, that's how it happens, man. Always waiting for the dip. Always.
Yeah, and now it's too high to buy it, in my opinion. It's very unstable with this economy also to to hold the 16,000 mark. We'll see how high it gets, but the hype is gonna end sooner or later, and people are gonna be start selling. All right. Now
Let's hope it doesn't hit the same highs as before, because otherwise you're gonna be mad.
we will see. Do you hold Bitcoin?
Yeah, I mean, I only buy in every other week. I buy a
Hmm.
couple bucks into it.
Okay, so you have like a recurring investment on it.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, that's a very smart move. But we will see what happens. We will see what happens. I'm gonna stay out of that for now. Disney. It's Puppy. It's Profit Puppy. Disney Plus was the only one. That's the only thing that held it strong this past quarters. After like the amusement parks, travel were canceled. Disney Plus show strong numbers with 73 million paid subscribers. Uh, and yeah, but it's all about Baby Yoda, in my opinion. Baby
Hmm?
Yoda, he's so cute. But yeah. Oh, have you been watching The Mandalorian?
Not at all. I mean, I tried to watch the first episode, but then I don't know, man. It just didn't get me.
Damn, bro. You're not.
I'll try it again.
Wait, you're not a Star Wars fan, right? Are you?
I like it. I mean, I'm not like, a diehard fan or anything like that.
Yeah, me too. Like I like it. I can watch it, but I'm not a diehard fan.
Yeah.
But The Mandalorian is pretty cool. I like it. It's like, but cool. Like there's action, there's humor. But yeah, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. Disney was up yesterday in Pfizer. Now every pharma is trying to like announce that they're gonna get a vaccine to compete with Pfizer, but Pfizer has the lead already on that. And other than that, there are new cases of COVID. So be careful out there, guys. The death toll surpasses 2,000 people yesterday, in with hospitalizations back to records levels. Some cities consider more lockdowns. So yeah, it's getting.
Well, there goes Zoom again.
So what's up?
So if we get more lockdowns, Zoom is going to bump back up again, probably.
Most likely, yeah, absolutely. We'll see.
It's already recovering.
It's being steady on the 400, right? Like right underneath $500. We will see what happens. Zoom is to being unpredictable this year, but yeah, cool, guys. That's pretty much it on my end.
I think that about covers it.
Very good. All right. So thank you for listening to us this week. We will see you next one.
Next one is number 4, right? 4th week?
4th week. Yes, sir.
Week number 4. Coming in strong.
1 month.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Peace.
All right. Take care.